Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our Tuesday Talks with FEO. My guest today is Louise Jackson, and we're going to be talking about reconnecting festivals and events and a little bit about tourism. Right, Louise?
Absolutely.
Great. Louise has her own, as you can see here, Aim High, Go Higher. And sorry, I'm just lost here for a sec. Aim High, Go Higher. And she has been or is an event professional. She's going to be an event professor. And we are so thrilled to have her back on Tuesday Talks. So let's go. Homework. Listen to me. It's like I've never done this before. Housekeeping. If you want to ask Louise any questions, just unmute yourself or put it into the chat room and we'll read it out for her. Or unmute yourself and just ask a question. There's a small group of us, so that should work just fine. All right, let's go. Louise, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Deb. I love doing these. I started the Tuesday Talks with you, and now I'm closing them out. So
we're bookending, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opener and the headliner.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Everyone else is fantastic as well. It's great to see everybody. I look forward to being able to see everybody in person. So my background, again, I am a festival and events tourism professional, and I've just signed on to teach again at Georgian College, but this year I'll be teaching destination and event management. So it's going to be a great opportunity. And also, if you end up having any job postings as an FYI for students that you'd like filled, please send them to me and I'll make sure my class gets them. So let's get started with reconnecting. So let's connect. So festivals and events connect us. They truly build our communities. And when we look at what's happening and that human connection, now it's time to come back and come back stronger. And we need to come back together. We can't do this alone. So what does a return to normal look like? My husband's face is in there too. My window was blocking him. And has everyone on here, has anyone on here socialized yet? Have they been out in a group, met with people? Okay. And are you ready to be in a large crowd? And so as we re-enter the world of live events, again, we have to take things into consideration, even though we are ready, obviously, as I see our fair operators in here and musicians and, talent and entertainment and festival organizers. There is fear, there's excitement, there's anxiety, there's worry and stress related to coming back to festivals and events. So we as organizers need to understand that festival goers and people are going to have kind of different emotions, and how are we going to handle those, and who are we going to work with? So some tips to help navigate this is we're all in this together. We need to have an understanding because we've been meeting like this for a long time. You can see I took a picture of myself in a Zoom meeting. And we need to ask questions and we need to collaborate. We want to make sure that the people who have always worked for us are comfortable. Are you okay? Is it, how are you feeling as we re-enter? And there's going to be, Deb, we've talked about this at length about how, some people are going to connect. Maybe we want to run up and see them and they're going to be hesitant. And we just really need to have that understanding in the back of our minds. What is it going to be like for lineups? How is that going to look? So when we think about the visitor to the event, how are they going to perceive? Some people are going to be really ready to go and a little, scary for some people. Our volunteers. Now, this could be an area that's a little tougher because when you look at some of the volunteer base, they are that vulnerable age sector. And, also, they've also had 2 summers off, so they might be enjoying their long weekends and not want to come back. So, and our community, how has this affected us and how do we reconnect it? So, some festivals are at risk of going away. Not everybody has qualified for the government funding that is out there. So when I talk about the collaboration pieces as we reconnect to festival and events, to tourism, we really need to work with other events in your community, other people, bringing that group together. Let's say, you look at a large scale festival and they might have a smaller stage and they have, the main stage. Well, why don't we look at possibly maybe that smaller stage is another event in your community that is at risk of going away. Or that way you can share some expenses. Because as I look at it, I think, what is the cost of porta potties going to be? What is the cleaning protocol going to be? There are some very kind of scary things that we need to be concerned about, but if we work together, they're not going to be so scary. Our volunteer base, if you combine an event maybe for the first couple of years as you come back, the volunteers will then all work at one. Our visitors will, be able to spread the love around to other parts of the community. Deb, we talked about that as well, right? What is event insurance going to look like?
Yep. And we don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know
those things. Yeah, and what will first aid and those costs? So we will have some higher expenses, but if we work together and we bring those partners, I've got on the call David Bradbury, who is he runs Pride in Barrie, and I talked to him about this, and he said, I love this kind of concept, and we really need to work together to support these amazing events that happened. I see Deb Curry, who runs a Midway, who I've actually worked at back in the day. I ran a game. But again, how do we support these? How do we go out? What do we do? So it's about connecting and collaborating. And Deb, maybe we could talk a little bit about how we'll get into the Reconnect vision after, but about what we would like to do as a FEO board with the kind of a mastermind group.
Yes. So first, can you explain how you came up with Reconnect? I mean, I think it's pretty interesting where your vision of this. So
of the logo and the name and
name and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at Reconnect, you can see it actually with my partners at Loft Vegas Productions. You'll see I had a chat with them. So Buck, who's on here, is part of this. And we thought, I wanted to call it Reconnect because we just need to connect. We miss people. But we made it like an email because either it's we need to reconnect again, we need to connect for the first time, or Kyle, you need to connect with David, or you know what I mean? It's that we all need that human connection, and it's how are we going to do it? So I'm hoping that my vision can help bring all of this together and really, really give back to the festival, the events, and tourism community, because it's in my heart. It's where I stand. When we had to cancel our biggest event last year in Barrie, and hearing the stories of the food truck vendors, the midway operators, the artisans, the bands, all losing their livelihoods, it was truly devastating. And it wasn't, of course, you have to go through the motion of putting out the cancellation. And then when people started reaching out and saying, I'm so sorry, Louise, I'm sorry, I thought, oh, this is a big deal. So, and then I started crying because I thought, is this going to come back? Like, it's people's livelihoods. It's our hoteliers. Our hotels fund the economy for tourism, with the municipal accommodation tax. So the spiral effect of this is really, really big. So we need to reconnect, and we need to stand united as festivals and organizations. And maybe you don't have the money to go to an event, but share it. I don't see being, if you've got a great event page and a great following, why not share other events that are happening that are local at the same time? Maybe you want people to come to yours, but if they're around there, share, make your posts go viral by building this community. And within Ontario, we need people to not travel right away abroad, spend their money here, right? If we can do that, our economy will recover. They've said, and I've read Destination Canada documentation saying that it'll probably take until 2025 to recover, but we are going to come back strong. So if we take that little bit of extra money that we would spend traveling somewhere else, spend it here. Support your local businesses and reach out. Do they need help? Do they, you know, and share pictures, post pictures, tag pictures. It's that simple. So that's where my vision came.
And so you talked with us, with Dave and Anne and Jay and I about doing a tour. So that's part of your reconnect too, right? Is to go to different communities and to broadcast what's happening within the community. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is the plan. And honestly, if anybody knows me or seen any of the videos I do, it's basically be a kind human is my motto. And this is where I came back with being an event organizer, a festival organizer, you know, getting people to come out to massive cycling events. The biggest thing was, okay, I want coverage of the event. I want pictures. I want this. I need organization. How can I add this extra part? And how do I showcase my community? All of that costs money. So I want to come in, and we are doing a show, and it's called Reconnect. And I will travel to a destination across Ontario with partners. And I want to showcase festivals, events, music, art, attractions, the restaurants, shopping, recreation, and anything else that's tourism. I want to check into our hotels and show the safety and show how it's okay to overcome the anxiety and the fear that I talked about. So I will host the show. It will be, you know, the end goal is that we get this on a streaming platform, but to start will be YouTube and your event channel. We have talked to Destination Ontario. They would be happy to share it on their channels. FEO will share it, Attractions Ontario, and we hope that other people will share it. And while we're there, our team will come to town, we'll visit, we'll capture the magic of your event, your festival, the food, the people. I want the real story, the human connection. So one of the things I talk about and how this kind of came to me of how I really want that feeling and that emotion is when you watch the Olympics, how many people love the commercials in the Olympics? Do you cry?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm crying because they're emotional and you connect. And these are, you know, it's you know, the little curling commercial with the Tim Hortons and this young girl. And I'm thinking, I just love you. Am I really loving this? So that's what I want to show. I want to interview that volunteer that's been there for 25, 30 years. I want to interview the people who are there, how the bands feel when they take the stage, how Kyle, who's performing, feels after feeling that energy and getting that real story. I want the event organizer to talk about what it's been like to come back, because people who all attend our events or our fairs and anything, they don't see the work that goes behind it.
Yeah.
It is not without volunteers, our events wouldn't happen. And we pay them with food and swag, and they're awesome. So let's show that story. Let's capture that. Let's bring together this magical story. And within that, our team will edit a video. So we want one for our channels, but we're going to leave one with you. We also want to interview guests, so that can help you with stats and where are people coming from. And if it was a main stage and you wanted us to go up there and host that part of it, welcoming bands or telling a story, that's what we want to do. And we also want to leave you with a ton of images. We don't want to own the rights to them and keep them. We want to leave you with so many pictures that, heaven forbid another pandemic came, you could still post every day. So content is king, and we really want to help develop that for a low cost. We're going to have sponsors of our show. We have plans of, you know, building a small kind of entertainment stage around that. So people travel with us. So you'll see what we're giving away at the end, and it'll give you a little idea. We want to have a band that comes with us and they play, or maybe there's some, you know, performers under that label. So you don't have to kind of organize that maybe second stage. So taking the stress off the event organizer, giving you content, building numbers, and building a community of everyone should be supporting everyone right now.
And I love the story that you were talking about, like interviewing people, because I know a lot of our event organizers ask, so what do you do the rest of the year once the event is done? They have no idea
Yes.
the amount of work it is to put on whether it's a 3-day or 10-day event. It's the same amount of work, and it's challenging, and it's a year-long investment of time. And so I think that message, and get the support of the community behind you as well, knowing that particular message.
And then creating content that will help your sponsors, right? Let's do a sponsor segment. I can interview them, or we can build a little piece around that, helping you, build that sponsor, the partnership commitment, to really get a good understanding.
Correct. Yeah. And, and the bands and everybody else who we deal with. So who you all deal with on a daily basis. So what does it look like? You've given us a framework of what the story is and how you want to do it. What is the framework of having that happen for, like, if an event wanted you to come to their town?
Yeah, so we would love to reach out to them. We're going to put a plan together. We're actually, as this is new and evolving, just, the famous word this year, pivot. It just reminds me of my high school basketball coach. I hear it and I hear squeaky shoes. It is. They're like, pivot. I'm like, what? Oh, sorry. That's wrong time. We're going to put together a plan. And obviously we can't go to every city in Ontario in the summer. But what we want to do is then submit that. And we're going to build sponsors around our show. But then when it comes time for Celebrate Ontario or grants or funding, that this will be able to be applied. And here's your whole plan. And here's a section. And here's what we'll give back and give the stats. So they'll be able to contact us. There'll be an email on I have my contact page there. Yeah. You're also giving us the list of everyone who registered. So we will be able to reach out to them. So as you talk about how can we connect? So this is part of what I didn't mention. You'll see this is a giveaway. So anyone on this call today, we are going to have your email, and then our team's going to get together and select a winner randomly. So we want to do a hosted event segment hosted by me, whether it's we come to you or it's virtual and we interview and we tell the story. Then it's a live or virtual performance by Barstool Confession, who Buck there is the lead singer of. An edited video for your event, whether we create some new content or you give us some old content and we can put it together. And then a 1-hour reconnect event consultation for your event. And those will be services that we want to offer to come in, not a high-end fee. We don't want, I know how fragile our industry is right now. So this will be services that we're offering going forward. But again, we just really want to help. So that 1-hour reconnect event consultation, how are you gonna pivot, as I like the word, and what are you going to do? So this will be how we bring it to fruition.
Perfect. And are you going to do any test sites? Are you going to have you got anything lined up right now?
Yes, actually. Once Waterloo is allowed to go into stage 2, Kitchener-Waterloo, Explore Waterloo region will be hosting us. So those will be the types of things we look for. We're hoping to have enough sponsorship covered, but when we come to your town is having, being hosted there. So having a place to stay and come in, that's kind of the fee we're looking for. And then having a lot of sponsorship. So yeah, we'll be doing Explore Waterloo region, doing Binghamton's Water Park, doing the market and St. Jacobs, I'm sorry.
St. Jacobs Market, yeah.
Yeah, and do some biking and canoeing, and I'll be traveling with my family too. So it's not just going to be a perspective of myself going. You'll probably see my husband and I fighting over where to park. No, those fun moments, right? And as well, my kids will be traveling with us too. So we're going to do through the eyes of the kids through this experience as well.
Because I love that idea, through the eyes of a kid, like, because your kids love taking pictures. So you're going to send them off with a camera, aren't you?
Yes, they're going to have their own little digital cameras, which they snap all the time. So then you'll have that youth element of what did they love the most and what was so exciting to them.
Excellent. I think this is an amazing idea. And you're going to, so you're working with Festivals and Events Ontario, you're working with Attractions Ontario. So it's whether your town, if your town has any attractions, your festivals, of course, hotels, all of that. That's what you're looking for, because it's not only connecting festivals and events, but it's tourism in general, and encouraging people to come out.
And the biggest thing is we want hotel stays, right? We want people to come out and spend. We want them to come back. We want them to fill our hotel rooms. And it's just that overflow of everything. Don't just come in for the festival, go here, eat from the food trucks, do this, stay, get up, have breakfast, and we want you to come back, right?
Jamie wants you to go to Kingston.
Okay. I'm in. Count us in.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I love Kingston. I love Kingston.
I haven't been there in a long time, so it would be great. Yeah. So we're just really, I just know, and I see so many names here and faces, and it's about giving back. I know the struggles we all have, and I just want to help. And I've been trying to get a hold of Kyle, because I want Kyle to work with us on this project. I think he'd be a great fit for what we do. So he called me yesterday. I literally called him like 10 minutes before this, and I was like, I just want to talk to you. So I really see what Kyle does is a great fit. And is there a sponsorship that we can help get? And, you have your partnership talks and sponsors. Those are all things we're really great at. And if we just work together, we will rebuild, we will come back. This industry is full of hard workers. They're innovative, they're creative, and everybody who does this has a passion for it, because it's not an easy job. Have you ever seen a Midway set up and tear down? Like, look,
it's crazy.
It is. And then they're on to the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now those hands have been sitting idle for a long time. So
yes, and we want to get them working again. So Anne had a great idea. Will you be promoting being a tourist in your own hometown? I love that idea.
That's a big part of it. It's explore your own backyard, check your, rediscover your town. That's a big part of it, Anne, because we all need to. I mean, really, if you look at your own town and what's around you, you could do something every weekend and probably not see it. How long would it take you to see every amazing part of Ontario?
I used to say, pre-pandemic, I used to tell people that, there's no reason for you to not be bored in Ontario, because there is something happening every single weekend in the province, like within an hour's drive or less from where you are. Something is happening. Some festival, some event is happening, and it's really quite remarkable. It's just exciting.
I actually did a trip, what started this idea, and I did a test run, and I'm so sorry, Guy, you're on this call. I completely forgot, because I haven't completed the video yet, because I didn't want to promote getting in my car and driving to Timmins right now. But what we were allowed, I drove up to Timmins and did a great drive, talked about the fuel economy. My car was 1 tank of gas. That's a picture of my car there. That's not actually my car, but no, with my license plate, so you can follow me. Anyway, we went up to Timmins. We experienced some of the great food, the scenery up there, just how beautiful it was. We did the Cedar Meadows Spa. So that's another road trip we did. We got to go road tripping in Ontario, and we got to celebrate music and art and culture and people. And I think, if anything, this pandemic has made people take the tourism and the festival and event industry a little more seriously.
And we got to celebrate restaurants and food and all of that, right? I mean, that's all part and parcel of it.
It's all of it. There's so much. And after you eat a great restaurant, you go shopping and you buy something. There's patios, it's the overflow effect of tourism is everybody knows somebody who works in the tourism industry.
Yes. Yeah.
Major business. And, I had to teach online students this year who took a 2-year program at Georgian, and halfway through their first year, a pandemic hits, and they're all online. And the first industry to go down is tourism. So you got to think how these students felt. So we also, as much as we need to encourage each other, we have to encourage the next generation to get into the industry, to start working. And it's not going away, and it's going to come back stronger. But if your kid and you didn't understand tourism came to you last year and said, hey, mom, I want to go to college next year and I want to take tourism, you're like, the industry was just decimated and I'm paying for schooling, right? So that part was hard. So I had to rebuild them and give them, you know, this encouragement. And now one of them actually got a job at TIO, one of my students. So it's really, yeah, I was very proud of her. And so that's a big part of it too, is encouraging that. And I'm hoping that as this grow, I'll be able to employ summer students, partner with colleges in the area, you know, have them go out to some of these festivals and build and have a tent where they interview people, they take surveys for you, right? It's a very easy thing to do if you do it right.
Wonderful. I'm excited for this to happen. I'm so excited for this to happen.
And I'm so excited that you felt this and that you invited me here to speak, Deb. It really means a lot. I know you heard a lot of my ideas first, right? You called me for a quick hello. We're talking 10 minutes later.
Yep.
We're brainstorming. So I'm just so honored to be a part of this community. I'm always trying to share and do my best. And honestly, my brain thinks strategically and I see vision and I see things that can happen. And if I can help all the festivals across Ontario bring that to life and do better and succeed, then let's put all of these events in the black, not in the red.
I agree. And what about, sorry, my phone just rang there. So does anybody have any questions or ideas or anything? I mean, I saw Guy put something in there. Yes, it is. A trip north gives you a little Cambrian shield, boreal forest, and the Arctic tidewaters. Yeah, like sometimes we just don't even think about that, right? And the beautiful scenery driving up there.
Oh, and how I got to see Timmins was when I first joined the Board of Attractions Ontario. Our first meeting was there. And if you've ever met Guy, he's just an amazing human with a wealth of knowledge. His son was actually painting a mural on a wall there that we got to see, and the the people and the museum that had opened. It was just, I was like, I have to bring my family here. Four-wheeling, snowmobiling in Timmins. I mean, it's magic. Although Guy doesn't like the frost at this time of year.
Come on, Guy. Kyle says, my first time camping in Timmins, I discovered the day was just a little bit longer. My first time in Timmins was many, many years ago doing I think we headed off in, oh gosh, I know I was eaten alive up north. Sorry, Guy. But it was a camping trip. It was a portaging and camping trip. It was really quite amazing. It's just so beautiful up there, and the forests and the moss and all that stuff. Sorry. So, does anybody have any questions, any comments, any feedback, other than Jamie wanting you to come to Kingston and Guy wanting you to go to Timmins?
Oh. There's my contact email there, Jamie. Sorry. And I took, she asked how she can contact me. She has to pop to another meeting. So
okay. And does anybody have any other, Buck, do you have anything that you want to contribute? Putting you on the spot here, but.
No, I'm just excited to obviously be part of this and definitely work with Louise, and the band is a big priority for us, but these events are critical to the industry. And I agree with Louise that, I don't have an expertise in running concerts. I like to play at them. I want to be on stage, but I do run a large conference, an Ontario conference. So I know how much work goes into it. And I do agree that the industry is going to rebound and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. And I think if we already look in the States, you can see concerts are, starting to fill up. There's Lollapalooza, there's hockey games are full. We're just around the corner with all of our vaccination rates getting into the 70 and 80% range. So it's just amazing to see everybody's drive. But Louise, amazing individual that puts her heart and soul into this. And I can't be happier to be involved in any way we can help out, myself and Paul Jr.
Thanks, Buck. Really appreciate it. Lisa has to leave for another call too. So thanks, Lisa, for joining us. But this will be recorded and posted online for you. So I'm excited about this as well. Kyle, do you have any input, any ideas?
Yeah, I was going to ask a quick question. Obviously, this is a great opportunity for local tourism and for communities to get back together and start driving tourism again. I was wondering if you could also maybe comment on what the opportunity is for the industry, the people who have been, the companies that have been sitting idle for 16 months, and how important it might be to get those companies operating again so that the industry can start kickstarting and sustain it for a long time, because we rely on so many of these businesses to drive tourism and to keep a healthy tourism industry flowing.
Yeah, and that's a big part, and that's why I want to get. I have so many plans. We have an olive oil company in Barrie. She's got Barrie, Newmarket, and Midland, and I want to go talk about those stories and share those people. And really, again, that's the whole thing. If we can get out this messaging and we can go visit, and we leave, and you've got all this content, people have got a story. And as you know, what if, let's say you've got 25 partners you work with, just as an example, Kyle, in your area, and at the same time they all share this message out. The whole point is to drive business back to that. And you know, I love wearing a t-shirt from that place, and maybe that's in the next spot I wear it. So it really, really is important. And you know, we have lost some of industry professionals, so getting people back to work and maintaining those experts is really, really important. And we would love to have Ticket Pro involved. Absolutely. We need partners. Look at these faces here on this slide I have. I took these pictures from the FEO Facebook page, and just so much great talent, great people, and more than the people in the industry need to know who these people are, and that's why we need the stories. Like Kyle, your mental health, juggling mental health is amazing, and that message, that needs to go viral. That can spread into schools and communities and give back, and then make people want to follow you to a festival. That's the type of world we need to create, and it has to be done together. We cannot do it alone.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I missed your call. I was just in the shower this morning, but some of those ideas and things will be working into my shows, into the other stuff. So I'm excited to talk about what we can do that can start going into communities and you know, just becoming part of that package that people can bring into their town.
Exactly, we need it.
We do need it.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any other comments? Dave, I'm going to put you a bit on the spot here. Any feedback, any comments?
Debbie?
No, we're looking forward to working with Louise. We've had several conversations and calls, and you know, I think as everybody's expressed, it's a great idea. And you know, I think the other part that makes it a really great program, and it's what Louise talked about, is, you know, you're going to Kitchener, for example, for Oktoberfest, but there's St. Jacob's Markets, there's the Kids Museum, there's the Regional Museum, there's Binghamton's Water Park. There's so much else to do in the communities that, you know, instead of making it a day trip, make it a weekend trip, and you know, have fun with the whole family and explore the area, because, you know, so many of us throughout this pandemic have realized the beauty and sort of the magic of what the province has to offer. And you know, sometimes it's right in your own backyard that you've not really explored that. You know, when you get your 2 or 3 weeks vacation, you just head out of town to somewhere new. So it has given an opportunity to showcase on a small degree, but you know, hopefully it's opened people's eyes enough that, when this really opens up, we've got to get back out and really explore the area. So yeah, we're excited about being a part of it, and I think it's a great idea.
Thanks, Dave.
And
I do want to comment, Louise, about staying in Ontario. You know, I belong to a dragon boat team, and we were talking about going overseas for a world regatta. And our team decided that we wanted to stay local. We are going to just really work at keeping it within Ontario or keeping it within Canada somewhere, like the team traveling somewhere to another regatta. It won't be the same. It won't be the same because of the nature of why we're going, but it's going to be exciting because we're going to be giving back to Canada and Ontario the way they've given to us. Well, at least I feel they've tried to help us and support us. Maybe not everybody agrees, but I just feel they've done their best, and we want to give it back. So give back as much as we can. So
I love that. And there is potential. I mean, the vision for this is that we start in Ontario and we build that we do Canada. Across Canada tour, reconnecting. That's the big picture vision, is to end up doing that. Buck's ready. We even have a stage we can bring, right?
Woohoo!
So that's
Cool.
the big picture vision, but we need to start locally because we don't want to travel with all the restrictions and do that stuff, but that's where we want to go. And it'll be 4 seasons and going in winter, summer, all of the amazing stuff we have.
Right. And Jay, do you have anything that you'd like to say? You've been behind the scenes listening to all of this for weeks now. Do you have any feedback, input?
Well, I just want to say on behalf of FEO that I'm very proud of Tuesday Talks. I think during this whole pandemic, for us to be able to produce great content once a week for all of our members to enjoy and to learn from has been really gratifying for me. I'm incredibly proud of you in particular for booking all of these great guests, and us as an organization for doing what we can to better educate our members and support them and give them ideas on what they can do when this is all over and done with, and they can reinvigorate themselves, reinvent themselves, be successful again. I don't know, I just feel really good about the whole Tuesday Talks program, and I've just been happy to be a part of it.
I couldn't agree with you more, Jay. Debbie and you and FEO for giving us this platform and connecting. I've built a relationship with Kyle over just being online together. You know, so I'm really, really grateful for this too. And thank you. We now in this realize how much we need people. So I'm glad you said that, Jay. I'm honored to be a board member, and I'm honored to have been invited twice to be a part of Tuesday Talks.
Thank you. Thanks, Jay. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
And anything else? Anybody? No? Guy, do you have anything to add? Anne? David, I'm reading out names. Now I'm calling you out.
I'm going to say, Debbie, calling people out.
As expected. Yeah, the only thing that I'm going to add here, and it's in support of what Buck said earlier, never in our history has there been a greater pent-up demand for travel. Cabin fever is at an all-time high. It's never been this high, despite the worst of the worst storms that we've endured in the past. And I can tell you that Destination Northern Ontario recently conducted a survey via SurveyMonkey with no incentive. And in a very, very short window, I believe 2 weeks, we fielded well over 17,000 people responded. And the vast majority said, yeah, you know what? Once this pandemic is over, we are traveling. We are going to enjoy Ontario once again. And that's precisely what they said. The other thing that goes without saying is anything that Louise Jackson does, she does with passion. Louise can certainly tell a story that is believable, a story that is honest as the day is long. So congratulations to you, Louise. You're doing a phenomenal job. We need more people with your energy. When Louise told me on her trip to Timmins, you know what, I'm coming back here with the family, I figured, yeah, you know what, I've heard that a million times. Well, guess what? She's been back not once, twice, and maybe even 3 times. So yeah, she's believable, definitely believable. And a big thank you to FEO for keeping the momentum going despite the hardships that we've all experienced and had to endure. So hats off to all of you.
Thanks, Guy. Great seeing you.
I couldn't have the passion without mentors and role models and people like this in the industry. So thank you. I truly appreciate that. And we'll be back because I still need a Don's pizza. I never got one.
Uber.
Yeah.
It's on me, Louise.
Perfect.
If anybody else has anything, we will wrap up if there's no other comments, other feedback. I personally just want to thank you all for, all the guests for being here, for joining us on a weekly basis and interacting with our guests and being a part of Tuesday Talks with FEO. I was, when I came up with this idea, I thought it was going to be just a month because I thought the pandemic wasn't going to last that long, but it has been since September of 2020. And my guests have been gracious, and Jay has been amazing in getting, the recordings up and on time on a timely basis. And, everybody's been interacting. So it's been wonderful. So I thank you for my little vision of Tuesday Talks with FEO, making that a reality. So I want to thank you all very much for that and having great guests. Yeah. And Louise, love that you bookended our Tuesday Talks. You made us open up, and you're closing us for the season right now. We will be back, but we are going to close down live for the season, and we're going to, based on a great recommendation from Louise, that we're going to take some snippets of other events and keep keep Tuesday Talks alive throughout the summer, so that you can go to different recordings. And with that, I want to thank you all so much. Dave, thank you for giving me this platform. Jay, thank you for being there. And for all our participants, thank you so, so much. And with that, we're going to end Tuesday Talks with FEO for today. And you'll be hearing back from us about what we are going to be doing in the future. So Louise, good luck. We are going to be working with you, and let us know what you need from us, and we'll help you out.
Yeah, I'll be seeing a lot of people. I can't wait to check out your event.
Yay! Thanks. It was nice meeting you, Bucks. Nice seeing everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you. We'll see you in September. Take care, everyone. Bye.